One effective way to kick the back is, Johnny, buddy. Say on that I went somewhere after.
Your plan.
Yeah. So from side choke, the thing is with no gi, you don't obviously have the gi to control. So for him to be able to move out from a side control, it's not that hard unless you're really keeping him cross-face heavy and alive. But here you don't really have any submissions, all right? So what happens here is that as he starts trying to turn into you and then sometimes tries to turn away from you, you roll away and you want to catch this arm right here. So I call this the figure 4 seatbelt, some call it a gift wrap, some call it the Hickson. What I want to do is I want to go into an S mount from here as I start pulling the shoulder and driving with my chest. Get here, and then we get here, or here, okay? You can get a body lock right here, which Jason loves right here, and John loves it, or I call this the hip hook. I'll do it from another angle, because his left leg's gonna be bent. Bend your left leg or else you're just stuck in a, yeah, right there. So I keep this foot around the hip, and I use this foot to keep pressure on that hip because I can move him down into that hole and begin to isolate his far arm. Okay. So he kind of bridges into me. And from here, bridges away here. Couple on here. Okay, so you're here, right? And I want to have, if you don't get this right here, I want to have this control because his left leg's going to be bent usually in order to be able to move the hips or whatnot. Yeah, right here. So can be here, so I can begin to move him and begin to climb my legs high, isolate the arms. All right, one more time. Yeah. So let's say you start off already in this position, they're facing away, you catch that arm. Now you're here. Now, his escape is on the side of the arm that's under. Typically, this is the choking hand. So the great thing about this position here is that you have a lot of nice options here, but the top hand is gonna be the choking hand. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna grip fight right here because he doesn't feel threatened by this hand right here. And typically the top hand is one that sits here and uses the bottom hand as a decoy. So as I start bringing his hands down here and start grip fighting here, you're able to get a nice choke right here. So that you make the focal point the hands, and you want him to bring the hands down. So as here I can push this down here and he'll start trying to free that hand and go here. If he's got his chin in, I can lift that chin here and I can switch arms and finish the rear naked with the gable grip. I have found that to do this and all of this right here, sometimes it's too much. So what happens is, as you have this right here, the figure 4, and sometimes this arm is over, so you just push them both down. And then if he is here, okay, you can crank his face and choke the face and crank it, all right? If he turns into you and his chin is down here, all right? So what I have found is that from here, okay, pull my arm out and insert this arm here, and then go palm up, gable grip, and from here, I'm just gonna hip into him and try to lift his head right off his body right here. It's way more efficient, so you don't have to start climbing in and doing all that kind of stuff right here, because there's just no room. As I went here, lifted his nose here, went under with the right hand, and now my left hand just catches here. And I'm just gonna hip into him and place him. But for now, let's focus on taking the back. I want my right hand underneath. Okay. Just go in here, feed that hand in here. I'm gonna drive with my chest diagonally, so he can so kind of almost roll flat on his belly. But he won't want to do that, otherwise he'll take the back. So what I'm doing also is I'm pulling into the bottom shoulder and driving the top shoulder over here. Lift him up, sit him up. You try to get that figure four seatbelt right here, but then you have the body lock. So it's real nice. It's squeeze. You can get a body lock, get a body lock. Or right here, sometimes you can get a nice body lock here. But my knee should be towards the mat, okay? Because I want my left leg going across his belt line. The other thing is that keep your head here. Don't do this. And don't arch your way. You need to keep his head from going to the mat. So as I'm here, I start grip fighting here. And as he begins to try to free this hand, whatnot here, go underneath, grab your own shoulder, and then bring your left elbow back. Your hand should aim for his shoulder first. If your head's down deep enough, grab your own shoulder, and then you're just gonna squeeze. All right. In another scenario, we'll talk about how to feed the bottom hand if his chin is down. Right here, because you have the ability to lift up here. All right, we'll try to take the back figure first. 1, 2, 3.
Ham, you want to choke me?
No.
Would you like to choke
Partner
me?
up, guys.
Would you love to be?